Okay, you guys, I'm gonna try and make a video. I really don't know what to say in this video. I guess I wanted to try and talk about like relationships and yeah, I don't know what to say whenever I try and start a recording. It's like I think about it in my head at first, and then when I try and make a video, like I just don't know what to say. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to start getting up at like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to just start getting up at like 6:30 in the morning, or even 5 o'clock in the morning, just so I can get my thoughts together. Because he likes waking up the same time I do. It's like we both get up at the same time, like every single time. So I'm just gonna have to just try and make videos like earlier in the morning. So, But I just want to say this, you guys. Don't get in a long-term relationship if you can help it, you guys, because it's just long-term relationships are they're just not it. Especially I don't know. It's like I don't know, you guys. I don't know what to say in this freaking video. Like I don't really know like how to start it off. But I wanted to try and talk about like relationships, like any like relationship like dynamics and stuff. Because when you're in a long-term relationship, things just start getting like really stale, you know? It's almost like when I'm in the mood, he's never in the mood, and then when he's in the mood, I'm never in the mood. So it's like a lose-lose situation there, you know. And this is going to be random, but people, certain people always like to say, well, you should try harder. You should put more effort into your life. And I'm thinking, well, if I'm not happy now, if things haven't worked out for me now, then what makes you think that they're going to happen for you later? I'm soon to be 37 years old, and things still haven't happened for me the way I would like them to be, because I went through a lot of like unfortunate circumstances, like moving around and stuff, and I can never seem to be like stable anywhere for a certain amount of time. I was never really stable except for when I was living at my parents' place. And then when I was going to college, I met my ex, and I really wanted to stay in a long-term relationship with him, but that didn't work out. You know. And now I'm with the guy now, and we've been together for forever, and of course things are gonna get really stale, you know. And of course, like when you're in your younger ages, when you're like in your 20s, when you're in your 20s, you want things to work out, you know, with somebody. Especially if you're somewhat like enamored with that certain person that you met. You know, the looks are there, you know. The personality is pretty cool, like you want to stay with that person, but it just something in life made it to where, like, you know, you guys, you know, if you start dating, it's like you guys just, you know, you don't end up staying together, you know, even though it's the person you really, really want. It's like you never end up staying together with the person you really want, you know. And then say you get into another relationship, you know. You're not, you know, say you're not so much attracted physically to that person, but you know, the chemistry is there. You know, our personalities seem to like blend together really well, but you know, there's always that tiny little factor where you're thinking, okay, well, and then when things get stale, it's like, okay, well, maybe I'm getting older. It's just, well, now I just have to try and like settle with something. I just have to try and settle with what I have currently. And sometimes that's a big mind fuck for me, you know, because I don't know. Life is fizzling out. You know, things are not how they used to be. You know, when you're in your younger ages, it doesn't feel as potent. In your later years, it doesn't really feel as important, and then things get really stale if you happen to be in a long-term relationship for a very long time. Things just get really dull. You know. And of course that fucks with your brain, that fucks with your mind, because like, you know, you're trying to cope, you know, you're trying to just settle with what you have, and you know, and of course I'm a woman, I'm a female, you know, I'm always looking for some kind of validation. I'm always looking for some kind of, you know, some kind of thrill, because life is just boring as fuck. Life is really freaking boring. You know? And especially when you're living in a little shit town, it's like there's nothing to fucking do. There's no parks to go to. You know, everybody wants to stay isolated. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to start conversations anymore. So it's like, you know, you gotta try and cope the best you can. You know, and family members aren't looking at you the same way as they used to. You know, and of course, like, you know, they're looking at you, and they're sensing that, you know, yeah, he or she has really changed, you know, she's not like she used to be. It's like, well, yeah, of course I'm not how I used to be. You know? It's like if you keep going through all these, like, I don't want to call them shitty circumstances, but like, if you keep going through all of these events and like, it's not like what you imagined on TV, you've been lied to, like watching the TV with all these people like having like happy families and like, you're watching these people on TV, like, they're smiling from ear to ear, like they're happy in the relationship that they're in. You know, everything just seems so fake. Everything is artificial, superficial, and fake. More so now than ever in all of history. So of course, I'm gonna want to feel some kind of, like satisfaction, especially if this life is really fucking boring for you. Circumstances and these events that you go through never seem to work out for you. Especially when you were younger, do you remember trying to do all these things in your life, like maybe in your 20s, to just try and have something work out for you in the long term, but it never did work out. Maybe little things here and there, like, like passing a driver's test or like passing a test in a class or something like that, like in school, but for the overall, like, for your life to really, for someone's life to really work out in the long run, it's like, I don't have that stable career, like maybe what my sister has, or maybe what like my dad has, like I was never really able to grab that stable career. And of course I put myself through all these trials and tribulations just to get a career working out for me, but in the end, like it never did. None of these things seemed to work out for me for my own good, like when I was in my 20s. I tried to put my best foot forward. I tried to befriend people. I tried to befriend like the managers of these companies and stuff. Like I tried to just put my overall best into what I was doing, but it never really seemed, for me, it never really seemed to cultivate and to grow or even stick with me through all that time. I tried to, to try to get somewhere with my life. And now I'm in another failed relationship, and I just expected my life to be like, I don't know how else to say it, like I just expected my life to like to like work out for me, So, well, this video didn't turn out like how I wanted it to turn out, like with the talking points I was thinking about in my head, but I don't know. Like, I wish things were different, but I just keep going through this. I keep going through this stuff. I don't know. You know. And now that times are getting more difficult, this era is just it's just proving to be more difficult to really try to like even try and cultivate yourself anywhere at all. And maybe some of you who are subscribed to my channel had went through the exact same thing. I noticed that T Sizzle is going through the same thing, the same bullshit. Lonely Black Pillar, he's going through the same bullshit. It's just a constant fucking shit loop of like these things just not happening for us. Like, why aren't these things like happening for us to where we can just try and be stable and possibly like start a family or something like that? But it's just all these things that life is throwing at us. It's just, all of these things are disappearing. Like, all of these things are just fizzling out right before our eyes. And it just seems like all you can do is just try and cope with this hell on earth. And I don't care. I guess I don't care at this point if my body's aging. All I can say is that I know that I tried to do my best in my early 20s to mid 20s. I tried to do my best with establishing myself into this matrix system. It just didn't happen for me. I tried going down all these avenues to where to where I could just just have like a good career and just freaking work with these people who had decided to hire me for my career. But it was all in all, it was all like more like independent based. Like I have to try and be somewhere where I can just try and find like a career family somewhere. But even I think that's a far off dream. That I could possibly never reach. So I have to try to survive off of these shitty minimum wage jobs. Like, I just have to try and base my life off that, and then cope with doing what I enjoy doing, doing what I so-called really like doing or I love doing. So try and just cope with those things, until I can get back up on my feet. But how can I get up back on my feet when all this life feels like is you being on a vast lake of frozen ice, and you're trying to get up on the ice, but the ice keeps slipping you back down. That's what it basically feels like for me. You know. And it's crazy. So I guess I'm going to try and end the recording right here. It's a bad video, but I just needed to come on the phone and vent a little bit. And I did get one Christmas gift. I got a beanie hat with some gloves. That's the only gift I received for Christmas. So it's a little beanie hat with it's a white beanie hat with some gloves. That's all I received. But you know, the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, it's just not that fun for me anymore. I mean, I think Halloween though. Halloween was the most fun for me. You know, I didn't get to dress up how I really wanted to dress up, but I thought Halloween was it was pretty cool. But okay, I'm gonna stop the recording and post it on my channel. And I know that some of you guys are trying to get a hold of me, but I'll try and get a hold of you back pretty soon, unless you didn't see it already. All right, try and have a good day, you guys, and I'll try and do the same. All right, thanks for listening, and talk to you later.